Having studied NLP for over 10 years, and I'm a master practitioner in NLP, whatever that means. The L, I had to think about it. The L, which stands for linguistics, you could really just say word, or what words do people use? What words are you hearing? Words seem to be very, very, very important to humans, right? So every word, almost every word would load up either a sound or an image or some sort of gustatory emotional reaction for a human, right? You say campfire, and that's going to load something up. Maybe it's not a strong feeling, maybe it is a strong feeling, but words carry experiences. So words matter. In fact, our entire civilization sits on top of words, whether that's the written word or the spoken word or the recorded word, but words matter. So the funniest thing I thought, the funniest words used this week were bank holiday. Apparently, Greece has not closed their banks to all of their customers. They're just on a bank holiday. They're on vacation. They're going on vacation. They're going to actually, I don't know where Greek people go on vacation, even before the crisis and them losing money for the last 8 years. Like most people vacation in Greece. So I don't know where they go. Maybe they go to Iceland. But no. The banks aren't closed in Greece. They're on holiday. They're going on vacation. And I just think this is really interesting because, oh, wow, that's so nice. Like, oh, the bank people, they don't have to come into work and they don't have to open the doors to the bank and the ATMs. They don't have to work. Words matter. And, I just love the bank holiday. If you have not heard, Greece has shut all of their banks this week. I'm recording this on July 3rd. Tomorrow's July 4th. That is a important day in U.S. history, the day of independence from Britain. But words really matter. The other word that has been used a lot the last 6 years is quantitative easing. No, we're not printing money. No, we're not creating money out of thin air. No, we're not. No, we're just easing, quantitatively speaking. Words matter. So with that, it just got my brain thinking about how big box advisors, Wall Street, the International Monetary Fund, all the feds around the world, or all the central banks around the world, how manipulation is really one of their tools. And I want to focus in on really big box advisors and conventional independent financial advisors, and bring up something that people almost never bring up. Hey everybody, this is RC Peck, and this is my weekend podcast. Like I said, it is Friday morning, the 3rd. I am getting my daughter, my little beauty, picking her up at 11:30. She's actually with Burgess right now. We are going to drive over to Pacifica on the ocean, pick up my son who's at surf camp. And apparently what Bowen is telling me is surf camp is really boogie boarding camp and play in the sand camp. But surf camp sounds much better, doesn't it? You pay more for surf camp. So the theme for this week or this weekend is complexity. People want to believe, people tell you that investing is complex and it's very complicated. But actually, it's excruciatingly straightforward. And if you can just know how it is straightforward and what complexities you can delete and eliminate, then you can safely accelerate your money and avoid all major crashes. Now, before I get to the one and only price chart, I just want to point out that this image, which I got off of Google Images, this is the simplified NAS. I have no idea what this is, but if this is the simplified approach, I hate to see the non-simplified approach. So I have one price chart for you. It is not a recent price chart necessarily, but it's something that I want to point out that can, I think, really help people's lives. Now, this is literally both of them are the S&P 500. The blue line is the S&P 500, literally doing nothing with it, just buying the S&P, January 1st, 1998. So a while ago, about 17 years ago. That's the blue line. It's just the S&P 500. Okay. And this goes until the beginning of January 1st, 2014. So we're missing all of 2014 and we're missing half of 2015. It doesn't actually matter that we're missing 18 months. That's not my point. The black line is a straightforward approach or method to making sure you never really hurt badly in the market. Now, all this is showing in the black line is when the 50-day simple moving average, a moving average simply takes the closing price of something over any period of time. So a 50-day is going to take the closing price over every 50 days and average it into a number. And a 200-day would do the same thing, except it's averaging the closing price over 200 days. And a 50-day and a 200-day moving average are two moving averages that are commonly used. They're not the best moving averages to use, but if someone's ever going to look and to use, indicators to help them signal, usually they start with a 50-day and a 200-day. So the black line, all the black line is doing is saying, hey, if the 50-day moving average falls below the 200-day moving average, just get out of the stock market. Just step aside from the stock market and go to cash. And then when the 50-day is above the 200-day, go back in. Now, this is very, very straightforward. You're just buying the S&P 500 SPY. You can buy that for 4 basis points, which is very, very low. All right, there's 100 basis points in a percent. So you're not doing anything fancy here. You're not looking for the right sector or the right industry or the right stock or the right IPO or the right whatever or the right newsletter pick. You're just buying the stock market. And the stock market's had a pretty good performance over the last 140 years. It, on average, does about 10% a year, generally speaking. So pretty hard to beat that. But all this black line is doing is saying, hey, if the 50-day is over the 200-day, maybe you should be in the stock market. And if the 50-day is below the 200-day, be out of it. And just notice how the black line would have better protected your money from all the crazy falls. Now, I have a strategy called market probability that uses 2 much more accurate moving averages. Again, the 50 and the 200, it's fine. It's better than not having one. As you can see, that black line has absolutely crushed the blue line in this example. But I just want to point out how this is not complicated. This is straightforward. What you own is straightforward, S&P 500, and how, and what your strategy is very straightforward. There's not a lot of complexity in it. In fact, there's almost no complexity in it. And that's something I just want you to think about this weekend or whenever you listen to this podcast is, where are you creating complexity in your life? And there are only 3 parts to life. Right? There are only 3 parts to life. One part is money, one part is health, and one part is relationships. Everything else in life falls into one of those buckets. Your marriage, your kids, your parents, your siblings, I was going to say sisters because I only have 2 sisters, your sisters, your brothers, your friends, your colleagues, people you pass by on the street, if you believe in God, that all falls into relationships. Your business or business, finance, that all falls into money. Those are all subsets of, money. And then you have your health. So that's it. There's only 3 parts to life, not complex. But where do you create complexity in your life? Because humans have a very deep desire they want to create complexity. I got to create this very complex thing to survive it, to feel survivable. It's got to be complex. And my basic take on this is humans don't really have to battle that much in life anymore. There are no lions or things with large teeth chasing them anymore. But the brain, which is in some ways a slow learner, still thinks it has to survive life. So it is making up and designing complexity. Now, this podcast, this blog post or video vlog post is about money. And it's about where do you create complexity. So really the takeaway I want you to just think about, and it doesn't have to be necessarily in your money bucket. It could be in your health bucket or your relationship bucket. But how has complexity hurt your money, or how has it hurt your life? And when you see it, almost guaranteed when you eliminate complexity, your life accelerates. Your life gets better. You get more of what you want. This is just another step in helping you get more of what you want. you getting a more secure future, you getting a more secure portfolio. Until next time, this is RC Peck. Hey everybody, I'm hoping you're having a great 4th of July weekend. Thank you so much for logging in to my weekly podcast. I love helping people. I love bringing that clarity and the deletion of the complexity to help them safely accelerate their money. A lot of information is put out there. I put out information each week. And the one thing I want you to know is a lot of times what I hear from people is, I just don't know what to do. I do not know what to do with my money. I got Porter Stansberry's newsletters coming at me, Steve Sugarroot newsletters coming at me, Fool.com newsletters coming at me, whatever the other 1,000 newsletters are coming at me. I got listening to your thing. I got what's ever happening on CNBC or whatever shows have all the stock information on it. I don't have a TV, as you know. I don't watch TV. It's like, what do you do? What do I do? And that's the question I solve for people. And I either do it for them or I show them how to bring straightforwardness into their life. And that's what Fearless Wealth is about. So if you're noticing yourself not knowing what really works or where the straightforwardness is, we're the company that eliminates the complexity and brings in the straightforwardness. And one of the new things that I've just done is I don't have minimums anymore with the money that I manage. I used to have a $500,000 minimum, and I've eliminated that. And the reason I've eliminated that is because one thing I've realized when I've talked to people, and Patty has talked to people, people are like, look, I only have 100,000, I only have 200,000, I only have 50,000. And the problem, RC, or the problem, Patty, is those people who will take 100 under management, they're like 27 years old and they don't know anything. And the people who have the most experience are the money managers in their 40s or 50s or 60s, and their minimums are $500,000 or $1 million. So it's like these people are left out. And that's not why I started my company. I didn't start my company to leave people out. I started my company to help people, to bring that clarity, to bring straightforwardness. Because I believe that good finances support a great life. I believe good investing helps you get to your passions and what you really want to do in your life faster and quicker and more ease. And I believe the choice to not have to work, which is really code for what do I really, really want to do? You can get there more effectively if your finances are in order or your money is in order, or you have a straightforward approach. That's why I started Fearless Wealth. And so I'm going back to that. I mean, I never left it, but I'm going back to that and wanting to help as many people as I can. And that's what we do here. We help people. You guys take care. Thanks, and I'll speak to you soon.